Welcome to My Safety Training presents Emergency Eyewash Safety 2012. We will be presenting the various components of eyewash safety, the legal aspects, workplace hazards, controls. So let's get started. What will you learn as a result of participating in this training program? Well, for one thing, how to protect yourself from chemical eye wash and skin wash hazards, what ANSI and OSHA, ANSI standing for American National Standard Institute, and OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, what laws apply and standards, emergency eye wash showers and drench hoses, the description and uses, what personal protective equipment is available, as well as what the hazards and chemical hazards and workplace hazards and controls are all about. Part 1, Workplace Hazards for Eye-Related Injuries. Where are eye wash or showers needed? Well, the first 10 to 15 seconds after exposure to a hazardous chemical, especially a corrosive chemical, are critical. Delaying treatment, even for a few seconds, may cause serious injury. Emergency showers and eye wash stations provide on-the-spot decontamination, and they allow workers to flush away hazardous chemicals that can cause injuries. Emergency showers can be used effectively in extinguishing clothing fires, flushing contaminants off of clothing. Typical eye wash areas are chemical loading stations, laboratories, chemical plants, any chemical mixing area, and pesticide mixing and loading stations. Because eye wash stations are rarely used, they tend to be obstructed in a way which prevents their emergency use. Consider this scenario: a worker with bleach in his eyes or her eyes, bumping into barrels, leaning over obstructions, bumping into their head on a ledge. Eye wash hazards in the workplace include inadequate eye wash for plating shops using large volumes of acids and caustics. A nozzle was modified into a jet of water, which would be painful at best, and this situation did not meet ANSI, American National Standard Institute, standards. Here we see a situation where personal protective equipment failed in a real-life plating shop where acids, caustics, and cyanide solutions were used, and those gloves were found to have pinholes. Poor housekeeping and improper glove care resulted in the chemical getting inside the gloves. Typical chemicals requiring eye wash situations are bleach, formaldehyde, all acids, sodium hydroxide, anhydrous ammonia, which is a gas, and aqueous ammonia. Of course, also chlorine gas, industrial cleaning chemicals, boiler chemicals, many solvents and pesticides also present hazards as those other items. Be sure to check the new safety data sheets with their chemical properties and eye wash recommendations to help determine what hazards exist within your workplace. Part 2, Eye wash stations, drench hoses, and shower specifications discussion. Emergency washes are required where there's a potential for the employee's eyes to be exposed to corrosives, strong irritants, and toxic chemicals. An eye wash must irrigate both eyes and allow the user to hold those eyes open with both hands. The on-off valve must be activated in 1 second and remain open. It must deliver at least 0.4 of a gallon per minute for 15 minutes. Approved eye wash, portable eye washes, can be used where there is no plumbing, but they must meet the specifications for a plumbed eye wash, and they must contain at least 6 gallons of water. Lastly, they must meet the American National Standard Institute specifications for such installations. Here we can see that the various types of chemicals that require an emergency washing equipment. We have corrosives that destroy tissue, including acids and caustics, chemicals with pH less than 2.5 or more, strong irritants that cause an inflammatory effect at your point of contact, and toxic chemicals that absorb through your skin and cause ill health effects, including pesticides. Various methodologies for controlling chemical hazards include elimination, just cease using the chemical; substitution, use a less toxic or less corrosive chemical; dilution, using less concentrated form of a corrosive chemical; engineering controls; and personal protective equipment. Of course, the preferred methodology is engineering controls, then administrative, and then finally personal protective equipment. Examples of engineering controls are closed containers and closed systems, containers with splash guards, container pumps which eliminate hand pouring. Here we can see types of personal protective equipment which can be used to control a particular eye wash situation, using neoprene, butyl, PVC, nitrile, or latex gloves, which should only be used for corrosives. Goggles are required where there are corrosive liquids, and face shields are recommended for highly corrosive chemicals. Protective clothing which can be used includes aprons, coveralls, whole body suits, and are required if there's a risk of splashing to the body from highly corrosive or toxic chemicals. Here we see a low flow eye wash which is not sufficient as a primary eye wash. This unit can be used as auxiliary only. Personal eye wash equipment includes eye wash bottles. They must be used as portable water or medically approved eye wash flushing solution. They cannot be used in place of required shower or eye wash situation. Can personal protective equipment be used in lieu of eye washing facilities or vice versa? Actually, the answer is no. Both are needed. Personal protective equipment can prevent injury, but it's not fail-safe. Emergency washing facilities are used to treat or minimize injury when PPE fails or the employees fail to use it. Handheld drench hoses are single-headed devices attached to flexible hoses, and they may not be used as a substitute for required eye wash or emergency showers. They must provide at least 3 gallons per minute for 15 minutes. Part 3, Emergency Eye Wash Stations and the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, as well as American National Standard Institute. Emergency eye wash regulations call for 1910 General Duty Clause and ANSI 358.1 for all emergency eye wash equipment installed. Most eye wash and emergency showers do meet the ANSI standard. Emergency eye wash locations must be readily accessible in such as the following slides will detail. They are required if there is absolutely potential for portions of the body to come into contact with corrosives, strong irritants, or toxic chemicals. They will provide at least 20 gallons per minute for at least 15 minutes. And a bathroom shower will not meet these water flow requirements. The water temperature should be moderated to prevent additional harm from either scalding or hypothermia. Most people can tolerate flushing their eyes with ice cold water for 15 minutes. Any temperature compatible with extended flushing is okay. When using emergency eye wash equipment, it is usually used only in an emergency, and these tend to be rare occasions. Employees with corrosive liquids splashed in their eyes often need help in finding the eye wash and in keeping their eyes open for 15 minutes. A short training program should be done every year for at-risk workers, where the equipment is located and how to use it. Equipment inspection. Equipment inspection calls for plumbed eye washers and drench hoses to be activated weekly and inspected annually. Emergency showers must also be activated and inspected weekly, according to the new ANSI standard in 2011. Portable equipment must be inspected and maintained according to manufacturer instructions. Sealed portable units must be replaced after their expiration date. Potable water defined. Potable water means drinking water standards. Some workplace or well water is not fit for drinking. Emergency washing facilities not using potable water must have signs stating that the water is non-potable. Emergency eye wash safety summary. The stations are required under the General Duty Clause in ANSI 358.1. They are required anywhere there are corrosive, strong irritants in the workplace. They must deliver 0.4 gallons per minute for 15 minutes. Remember now, don't forget to consult your safety data sheets as required by the HCS 2012 in your workplace, and thanks for participating from the gentle folks of My Safety Training Online.